We have another transformative week full of planetary transits. In this week's astrology, the first new moon in Capricorn will occur, giving us the urge to commit to the right opportunities. Mercury will transit forward into Capricorn through its post-shadow retrograde phase, allowing us to resolve things that have been on hold since December. Mars will make the most transits this week, giving us this feeling of being energized. And it's a week full of mixed bag transits, which can cause us to feel like we're gaining momentum one moment, then feeling edgy the next. So the vibes on the graph for these next 7 days definitely reflect what's going on with the transits in terms of their mixed bagness. The beginning of the week starts off with a large amount of imagination and confusion from the 8th to the 10th, mixed in with solitude, psychic vibes, ambition, mental energy, and good luck vibes. Because of this, it may be just another week where we're craving a little bit of space to ourselves, and we're trying to figure out our next steps to get back on track, especially with our opportunities, especially with other things that have been off kilter, specifically from the Mercury retrograde and some of the other transits that we had going on over the last 6 weeks. This might be a time where we're needing a little space to ourselves to really think things through and feel more grounded. That good luck energy continues all the way up until the 13th, but it is mixed in with emotional sensitivity, which is happening on the 11th. With these two very different tenors, we can feel like our moods are fluctuating. So we might feel testy one moment, but there may be moments where we're feeling really confident and we're taking action on opportunities that we normally don't take action on. Then by the time we get to the 14th, we've got a smidge of solitude popping up again. With this small amount of solitude, we may feel a little bit conflicted. We may want personal space, but we may also feel like we don't want to be in our own company at the moment and crave a little bit of social action from others. It's a very small amount, and then there are certain transits going on that may mitigate some of that need to be by ourselves. So yeah, we're in for another colorful week. Let's look at these next bunch of days and see what we can expect. As a reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps this channel grow. And if you'd like to support the work of this channel, you could do so by buying me a fresh cup of coffee. There's a link in the description box below. Monday is a particularly edgy day with a few transits that are occurring. Mercury is going to make a square with Neptune, which could bring back certain themes from the retrograde. The last times we had this alignment was on November 27th and 26th, and it may bring up situations where we lacked clarification on something. So that's definitely a good thing, because through this forward movement, we may actually have an aha moment or have something cleared up that may have been on hold since the retrograde. But on a transit level, if you're feeling this differently and not experiencing it from the retrograde side, this could bring up situations where we might have misinterpreted facts, conversations, or just are having hazy moments. We also need to be aware of not understanding the truth of a situation and making up scenarios in our head that aren't really founded on facts. And due to this type of haze, we also need to be aware of things that may be a little bit scammy in nature. So if something seems too good to be true, we may want to avoid that or make sure we have all the details before proceeding in a situation like that. Due to the foggy nature of this energy, we may have moments where we're more forgetful than normal, so there could be moments where we're having memory lapses on certain things. And speaking of which, with an energy like this, we need to go slow and make sure we're going over every detail, especially if we're signing up for something, if we have contracts, important documents, anything where there's fine print that we need to read. We definitely need to go over it as slowly as possible to make sure we're understanding what we're getting ourselves into. That way, we're not getting stuck with some sort of bad deal. And of course, a lot of this stuff could have carried over from the retrograde if you were feeling the retrograde side of things, if you were being aspected by this. So some of these themes that I mentioned could be coming up for resolution on that day. But with an energy like this, we'll definitely want to make sure that we're staying grounded, especially because there's another transit on that day that's pretty harsh in nature. So on top of feeling foggy, we may actually experience moments of gloom due to an alignment with the Sun and Saturn. The Sun's going to be in a semisquare with Saturn, and so this can bring up moments of dread, demotivation, and just overall gloom. And because of this, we might be feeling more self-conscious than normal. We may be experiencing self-doubt from an energy like this. So that, combined with Mercury making that square to Neptune, could really make us feel off kilter on Monday. Luckily, when we get to Tuesday, the Sun's going to make a trine with Uranus, which should help us shake off anything that's holding us back. One of the cool things about this trine is it signals the last few weeks of Uranus retrograde. Anytime we see the Sun making a trine to the outer planets and Mars, it's a signal of a retrograde starting, but also a retrograde ending once we get to the other side of that regressive cycle. And with this, it marks 2.5 weeks ago until this planet planet goes direct. So we're about to hit a point where we have no retrogrades for a while. We won't have any retrogrades again until April after this period. So that's going to be really great in terms of us getting some forward momentum in our lives, especially if things have been on hold and you guys have been being aspected by a lot of these retrogrades that have happened from 2023. Hopefully this alignment mitigates some of the stuff that happened on Monday, because it happens to be one of those breakthrough moment sort of energies. So if you felt like you were in a rut for a while, this could give you the much needed boost to clear up any self-doubt. This could aid in feeling motivated and encouraged to start going after some of the things that you might have put on hold. This can help you in shaking things up that are aiding you with your self-assurance. And with an energy like this, we can have a eureka moment. We can end up finding some brilliant solutions to solve complex problems that have been holding us back. And if you felt restricted in terms of your persona, this could be one of those times where you finally break free of that. So this could be a time where you're realizing that you need to step into your own alignment and your identity and not care what other people think of you. So this could be a period of truly embracing who you are unapologetically. By the time we get to Wednesday, we have 2 Mars transits that aren't like the other. Mars is going to make a Sesquiquadrate with Uranus, but Mars is also making a sextile to Saturn. After having a harmonious alignment to Uranus the other day, we're coming into this one that's a little bit on the reckless side. So we may crave immediacy when it comes down to things. In other words, this could manifest as frustration if we're not getting things as fast as we'd like, leading to sudden flare-ups with our temper, leading to bickering with others, leading to just argumentative energy or more or less confrontational energy overall. So try to be aware of the sudden need to shake things up, because it might blow up in our face with an energy like this. However, Mars is connected to Saturn in this harmonious alignment, which may mitigate some of this crazy energy. So yeah, we might feel energized, especially with this alignment and then the Uranus stuff. However, if it's channeled constructively and the Saturn situation is taking hold, this can give us the momentum that we need to focus our energy on the right tasks, to commit ourselves to the right things. So if we're really feeling this, we might lean into our more strategic side when it comes down to going after what we want. An alignment like this pushes us to do things more constructively. That way we're laying the groundwork for our long-term plans, because we're ready to enhance our lives and finally make the progress that we've been waiting for so long. Because this gives us more focus, energy, and stamina, this may aid us also in doing complex tasks on that day. So if we have any technical situations that need resolving, this is excellent for that. In terms of intimacy and bedroom antics, Mars combined with Saturn in a harmonious alignment can aid us in that as well. So this may be a day of passionate exchanges, adventure in our love life scenarios, and having intimate staying power. Some carryover from Wednesday may bring in intense vibes when it comes down to our romantic scenarios. Venus is going to make a semi-sextile with Pluto, and this could rev up unconstructive behavior when it comes down to love life situations. Like I was saying, this week is weird because for every harsh alignment we have a harmonious alignment following that. And this alignment itself can bring in power struggles, petty behavior, and jealousy. However, on the 11th, Venus is making a trine with Chiron, and this is excellent for healing things in our love life and finances. If you wanted to get back on track when it comes down to your love life, in the sense where you're valuing yourself more, you're learning the importance of having dignity and self-respect, then this alignment has you covered, because it's about healing those areas where we might have lacked that in the past. A vibe like this helps us realize the importance of not questioning our worth based on hurtful memories of rejection or remarks that were made by other people. So we start to realize that those things don't define who we are, allowing us to see ourselves more positively. So this gives us the urge to heal the relationship with ourselves. That way we're attracting healthy types. That way we're attracting the right types of people who are going to value us the way we deserve to be valued. Friday brings in a trine with Mars and Jupiter, which could give us the urge for adventure. So what I was saying about the weekend, specifically the 14th, how we had that solitude energy popping up, we also have this in the air, and we're going to be feeling this Mars trine Jupiter situation for the next 72 hours, maybe just a little bit longer. So hopefully it mitigates what comes on Sunday, which of course I'm getting ahead of myself, but I will get there once I do. But this energy may soften some of the stuff that's going on in the air. And cause us to want to socialize, cause us to want to have an adventure, or just engage in enjoyable activities with other people. So it could be a weekend of craving exhilarating experiences. With some of the transits in the air, and this one in particular, this is why we're seeing that good luck energy popping up, because even though this is a trine, and trines are very easy energies, sometimes they're lazy energies, when you have a Mars-Jupiter combination, it tends to push us towards acting on things rather than just daydreaming about something. So if there's an opportunity that you wanted to go after and just have put it on the back burner or shied away from it due to confidence, this transit will give us the self-assurance needed in order to go for the gold. So a vibe like this encourages us to stop second guessing ourselves. And this could be on all levels in life, not just goals, not just aspirations, but also when it comes down to our romantic life as well. Because we're dealing with the Mars situation, we deal with bedroom situations with Mars, we deal with hookup situations with Mars. It's not saying it can't be dating situations or even a relationship situation, but this may give us the courage needed to finally take action on a romantic situation in a constructive way. And if you're in a committed situation, this could be a moment where you're experiencing intimacy that's off the charts, or the two of you are engaging in exhilarating experiences with one another. But overall, this is a jolly transit, and let's hope that it carries us through the whole entire weekend. On Saturday, Mercury transits forward into Capricorn. So this is going to have us reviewing the period between December 1st and 22nd. Mercury is still in its post-shadow retrograde. It won't go out of retrograde shadow until about the 20th of this month. And so now that it's back in Capricorn, we're going to be reviewing that period when it comes down to Capricornian things that happened in the retrograde. So this could be a time of working on responsibility, taking accountability, maturity, committing ourselves to the right things. Also have us focusing on our long-term goals and the things that we want to master in our life. But this could also bring up contractual things that we might have put on hold due to the retrograde, or was put on hold because of retrograde delays. And now we're ready to move forward and possibly sign those contracts or hear back from something that was supposed to be solidified and just got put on pause during the retrograde. So the 14th brings in a Venus Quincunx situation with Uranus that may rev up erratic behavior in relationships. This is where some of that solitude energy is popping up, although an alignment like this tends to bring out our social side in some sort of way. So this is where I was saying that smidge of solitude may be there because either we're feeling a little bit triggered or edgy and we're just needing a little bit of space to ourselves. But on the other hand, we're somewhat keyed up from an energy like this because it brings out our excitement seeking side, and not in the constructive way of Mars and Jupiter in that trine, but this is more of the unconstructive end. So we'll feel the need to be social on that day, regardless of that smidge of solitude and what's going on in the background from that Mars trine Jupiter situation. But with this, we need to be careful of taking extra risks because it may blow up in our face. And because this is a quincunx, this shows where we lack awareness about ourselves. This shows where we lack insight about things. And because this is Venus, this has to do with our relationships and our finances. So a connection to Uranus in this manner could give us the sudden urge to shake things up when it comes down to our romantic life. And some of the ways this can manifest is being unwilling to commit, avoidance in relationships, craving constant stimulation even if it's unhealthy, acting on impulse when it comes down to intimacy and intimate partners, or on the money end, being very impulsive with our spending, or jumping in and out of jobs because we're bored. So with this, we have a sudden urge to shake things up in those ways. We may not want to do that because this could blow up in our face with this being a quincunx and being a hard alignment with Venus and Uranus. So you want to make sure that you're not doing those types of things in your romantic scenarios, but you also want to make sure you're definitely not doing that when it comes down to your finances and career. So yeah, definitely a wild week with mixed bag transits, but I will say at least we're getting mixed bag than mostly complex ones, because over these last 6 weeks we've gotten more edgy stuff than we have harmonious, and at least this gives us a lot of mitigation throughout this week, and we are needing that at this point. Anyway, I hope you all have the best week ever. Later, and see you in the next episode.